So we're finally burning off all of the prunings from our fruit trees and all of our oaks and firs that have dropped limbs over the last year or spring and winter. It was becoming kind of an eyesore, and honestly we had some pests that were making a home in there, like skunks, and they're not exactly pests, but we had birds living in there, which wasn't a problem. So anyway, just time for it to go. Hey guys, welcome to week 6 of our garden blog. I'm Mark.
And I'm Anna.
And welcome to week 6 of our garden blog.
And this, it's been a pretty slow week this week just because we've had a lot of rain and cold weather, so we haven't been out here a ton. But you will see some clips from this week, of course. And we did do some stuff. We also released our butterflies this week, which will be in a separate video on Wednesday. I will share that one. So, yeah, what do we need to show? What do we need to...
Yikes.
The cherries are ripe. They've been picking those.
Cherries are ripe.
Oh, I know what I need to show. I know. I came out here last week after I had posted the garden vlog last week, and I had a celery butt from the kitchen. You know, we'd eaten all the celery off of it, and I had seen on Pinterest before that you can take the little end of the celery and plant it and it'll grow back. So I brought it out here and I just set it down, just set it down right on top of the dirt. Right on top of the dirt, thinking, you know, okay, I'll come back here in a minute, or, you know, do whatever I need to do and come back and plant it. And then, of course, I never did. But take a look at this. I'm gonna turn the thing around. I literally just set it on the ground, and look at what it's doing. Look at that. It's just sitting there right on top, and all of this is new. This is all new in a week. I'm really excited about that. I think I'm just gonna leave it and see what it does and let it do its thing. Isn't that hilarious? I never would have thought that just setting it on the ground would get it to regrow again. I think that's hilarious.
Might be a little late to spray the trees.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already ripe and ready to go, and with the rain that we've had,
Pick them.
I think we're just gonna roll with what we've got.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the broccoli this week. They are looking good. And that cauliflower too. Getting real big. Mark, you want to stand by that so they can see how big that is? Maybe just go down there.
Here's my hand.
There we go. I'm not totally sure when this cauliflower right here is supposed to make something. They're getting awfully big, but I don't see any cauliflower.
So last week we decided to retry planting our watermelon, just because the first batch that we tried just never took, and I don't know if it's maybe for being too early and the ground temperature was not where it needed to be or whatever. So we have 2 new mounds that I did. I did 5 seeds per mound, planted roughly like that shape. And on this one here, it looks like something had been digging right in here. I probably can't tell that on the camera, but
And it's wet too. It's hard to see when it's wet.
yeah, but this area right here is where looks like there's, I don't know what kind of animal, maybe a bird or a squirrel or shoot, even our cat. We found our cat scratching around earlier. So
What? Did he go potty there, or maybe he went potty there? He wouldn't be like digging stuff up.
Anyway, so that one, I'd be surprised if that does anything. This one here looks pretty much untouched, so I'm holding out hope on that one, that one's gonna get us some watermelon.
Here's the corn. Getting nice and big. How tall do you think that is? 18 inches-ish?
Yeah, I mean, they're a little scattered. The shortest ones are probably around 10 inches to a foot. And the ones in the back that look better, those are mid shin. Couple, yeah, 18 inches, 2
Here
foot.
you go. Yeah.
Looking really good though.
Okay, here are some videos from this week. This plant right here is a jasmine plant that, oh gosh. This right here is a jasmine plant that my mother gave me. It was one that she had on her property and just hadn't kept up with. And so she thought if I stuck it in the ground over here, it might come back to life. You can see all of these are dry and brittle. We didn't get it in the ground as soon as we should have. It sat out for a little while, a week, well, probably a couple, maybe 3 weeks, until I got it in the ground here. And I wasn't sure it was gonna make it, so I didn't really say anything about it. However, I have come out here in the last few days and have seen some new green growth on the bottom of this, and I'll show you that here in just a second. You can see this one leaf that was already there has turned green, but then it also has these new leaves and new growth coming right out of the bottom. So to help this little guy come back to life, I am going to be trimming it up on recommendation from my father-in-law, who said just to help it out, just cut all this dry stuff off, and that should help it focus on growing the new growth at the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and I'm just gonna let you guys come along with me. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how to do this, but I'm just gonna start trimming things up and we'll see how it goes. All of this here, I did decide to leave some of the longer middle stems, branches, I guess, but I took off all the leaves, all the dry leaves, and here, I'll show you. You can see this is the new growth down here, and I cut everything off. I left, you know, these, there we go, and oh, there's a little leaf there. So I left this long part. I did see that inside of these branches, maybe you can see it here, inside of these, let me get it to focus. So inside of these, I saw some green right in there, and that looked like a good sign to me. And that was why I really decided to just take off the leaves and not all of this. So I left this just because it did look like it had some life in it. See, there's some green in there. So this is a star jasmine plant. Star jasmine, and we will see how it does coming back to life. I'm excited about it.
Thinning out the apples. A lot of these clusters of apples had like, well, here's a good example, had like 5 apples on there. And so I would rather have fewer larger apples than a lot of little ones. So I know it seems kind of backwards. You're like, but we're losing our fruit. What are you doing? You're just going for big fruit. So Huh?
Sorry, I pulled off a
Oh.
leaf.
So anyway, I'm just looking at them, and like this one's kind of a weird shape, so I'll get rid of that one. This one's got a weirdo on it, and I think I'll probably leave that. Those are fine, and a lot of them are like this. They're like little wannabe apples. So really, I'm just kind of doing this as a time filler. But it is a good thing to do, I think.
Time filler.
Yeah, because we have another video to do, and I'm waiting on you to be done filming the one you're working on. So in this case, I'll take that guy off and this one, just for no particular reason. Just thinning them out. Here's another one. So we'll get rid of this little halfling. And this one, we'll get rid of this one. That way those guys will have room to get big. So we're just giving these ones, the ones that we're leaving, we're giving them priority of all the nutrients. So
Can we give these to the chickens?
I don't know if they would take them. They're probably rock solid. But we can try. I got a handful. We'll see what they do. We'll probably walk them in there and set them in because they're so hard that if I just lobbed them over, we could kill one of our chickens. So we got a little buddy in our potatoes. It's a bird.
Aww.
He's still alive.
Aww. We should give him some water.
He's wanting a worm. Maybe we'll see if I'll go find him.
You think it's a young bird?
I think so. Okay, so this little bird that was in the potatoes, when I went to go check on him, he had his mouth open like he maybe thought I was his mom ready to feed him. So I got a worm. I'm curious what he does.
Think that's too big? No.
See what he does.
Poor little guy. Could you tell where he's hurt?
Yeah. It's by his left leg, bleeding.
Stick it in there. Oh. Think he'll open again?
Open up, little fella.
There is a loud bird over there. Maybe it's the mama.
I know they were really loud when I was moving them. Okay.
Huh? Keep him covered up.
So he originally was over in the corn, and I put him in here just kind of give him more protection from other birds. So hopefully that works, and hopefully our cat doesn't find him either. Yeah, hard saying. Kind of sad.
Let's take it out. Let's take it out.
It's so wet this week. I'd love to get a rain gauge out here so we can see how much rain these plants are getting. This was a rainbow variety of radish, and if you can see, got all sorts of colors here. There you go. Look at those rainbow radishes all rinsed up. A couple of them broke. You can see that. I'm not quite sure how to fix that, but look at that. There's this pink one, dark purple, purple, red, bright red. Man, that is pretty stuff right there. Oh, hey, what are you doing?
I am picking cherries.
Oh. Well, thank you very much.
Huh?
Becca spit one at me.
Oh, don't do that.
They're shooting.
That looks like a good one.
You want it?
How are you?
He's trying to get up.
It's good. Where you going, kitty? You want some cherries?
The rule is you got to come up by yourself. You know why?
Why? Because then you can't get down.
If you
I'm
need
too
help
short.
getting up, then you need.
Take
Oh,
that
you
one,
want
Mom.
some
It's a
good
good
ones?
one. I'll get them myself.
Okay, I'm stepping over here.
Yeah.
I've been out here a few times this week with just leftover eggshells that I've just crunched up in this bag. And I'm just kind of sticking them around, you know, slowly kind of filling up the area with eggshells. Also, while I'm out here, I figured I'd just show you this real quick. This middle tomato plant, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one here. Well, this middle one we didn't have a cage for, and we kind of, I don't know, just let it start growing. But it kind of fell over recently, or in the last couple days, because it was getting top heavy. So Mark came out here and added just some twine, going from this cage over to that cage, just to help support this middle plant. So that was something that we did this week. Look at that coming out. It's gonna be pretty.
Well, there you got. See what I mean? These words.
Just
Figure out what it means.
All right, guys, that was week 6 garden vlog.
So I hope you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work and fun.
We were just talking about how at the end of the harvest season, we think that we should do, oh, there comes Becca. We think we're gonna do a lessons learned video.
Yeah, so there's been so much that we've learned, things that we should probably never do again, and then things that worked pretty good and maybe we could try to make them better. So the whole thing is just a work in progress. I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's a lot of work, but it's enjoyable to be able to do this, and hopefully next year just goes that much easier, just building on what we know. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.